On Tuesday, August 11, 2009, 4 days before her body was found, Jasmine went down to San Diego to greet Michael Cardozi as he was being released from prison. After serving a lengthy stretch for drug trafficking.
She did more than a visit. His DNA was found at the scene.
And it's no surprise that when the detectives in charge found out, they wanted to have a look at this Michael Cardozi guy.
Originally, we thought, just get out of prison, semen's in her, you know, definitely a suspect.
I don't think there's much room for speculation as to why Jasmine and Michael Cardozi split up. He got busted, went to prison, marriage over. And they divorced in 2005.
He was still in love with Jasmine, and I think it's pretty clear that she had very strong feelings for him too, because she literally went down to San Diego to see him.
When he was questioned by detectives, he couldn't have had a more solid alibi. He had a monitor around his ankle tracking his every movement. He definitely wasn't anywhere near the scene of the murder.
At this point, I was positive that Ryan Jenkins was a suspect. And we feel that he's running from us, so we look more into his background, and you know, we find out that he has a criminal history.
He had a prior domestic violence out of Canada.
He was convicted for assaulting his girlfriend and was sentenced to 15 months probation and a sex addiction therapy program.
Ryan became very jealous and very angry to see me even talking to other contestants. On the show, I had to kiss all of the guys. It's a dating show. And he had a hard time watching me kiss the other contestants. On March 8th, he wrote a message, "Seeing you kiss my bro was hard to deal with."
Having been in Playboy or working with Playboy as a woman, you can encounter men in your relationships who are really attracted to that, but they're also simultaneously very, very jealous, insecure, and can't handle it.
Ryan Jenkins was absolutely fiercely jealous of Jasmine. If she so much as talked or texted to a guy, he was going to be jealous. He was prone to violence.
I had no idea that he was previously arrested for domestic violence. The show did some type of background checks, but the background check company missed it. From what I heard, he had his previous arrest expunged in Canada.
Apparently in Las Vegas, about a month after they got married, he saw her talking with someone, got jealous, pushed her into the pool, and he was arrested for misdemeanor domestic violence in Las Vegas.
And he wound up spending a night in jail for that.
And that case was still pending. It hadn't gone to court yet when her homicide happened. 4 months later.
I met my husband like 5 months before marrying him. So Jasmine gravitated towards me because we kind of had the same situation in her eyes. She asked me advice on how I handle when things get rough, because he said something like he gets angry, I don't know how to deal with it. And I go, I understand. My husband gets angry as well. Get him a man cave, try to keep busy. Just basically like girls like I know, aren't they terrible? Aren't husbands terrible? Just basic girl talk like that. I was just thinking it was more like my marriage. I didn't realize how much she was going through.
Staff was trying to call her to say, hey, are you going to be involved this year? And we didn't get any return phone calls. She just stopped coming around. And generally, when something happens like that, you always wonder, is somebody okay? Because usually people just don't shut you off like that.
In June 2009, Ryan came back to LA and called me and asked me if I wanted to go out to dinner with him. And I agreed. Ryan looked like he had lost several pounds. His face was very thin. He was very pale. He was shaky. He was paranoid. He was just not himself anymore. Ryan told me that Jasmine was ruining his life, but he's also obsessed with her not leaving him because he wants to win. He just can't accept any rejection. So I convinced Ryan to be on season 3 of VH1's I Love Money for the sole fact that I thought it would separate him from Jasmine for a while, and he really needed to be away from her. They didn't love each other. He didn't even like her, and she didn't like him. I told him, leave Jasmine and get some space from her and just go get away from everything. Me meeting with him and her finding out set off a big chain of events between the two of them.
By the time he went to Mexico to shoot the second reality show, I Love Money Part 3, Jasmine dyed her hair. She just wanted to become a different person. And she was actively trying to get their marriage annulled, kaput, ended.
Producers told me that he was so obsessed with winning the money so that maybe he could win back his wife. And he would just call her all the time from the show, trying to keep an eye on her.
On July 27th, Jenkins sends this plaintive email to Jasmine. I want you back. I'm gonna do better. I can't live without you. I need you. Now, how did they end up back together? Maybe she was giving him one last shot, or maybe she was just hanging out until she could be done with him. It's hard to say.
Everybody wants to look from the outside and say, well, the first time you saw a red flag, you should have left. And it's not like that when you're in it at all. Like, you spend the early part of a relationship seeing the best of a person, and you want to move forward in a relationship thinking it can get better. You think that the first thing that went wrong is a one-time thing. That person apologizes. It can take a lot for the average person to get out of an abusive relationship.